One thing we look for in a stallion prospect is a racehorse of exceptional ability.
But what an electrifying turn of foot he had at the top of the straight, and he'll cruise down and win the Rosehill Guineas.
A horse that's able to put in that absolutely amazing performance.
This is an exercise gallop. He's moving away for one of the most impressive wins you'll ever see in the Derby.
Maybe only once, but in Dundeel's case, it was several times.
It's a Dundeel getting to Atlantic Jewel. They come to the line, and it's a Dundeel nailed her.
A devastating turn of foot which left rivals in his wake, and 6 times a Group 1 winner. Dundeel is undoubtedly one of the most anticipated stallions to stand in the Southern Hemisphere this season. Racing credentials aside, his bloodlines are a blend of powerful influences. His sire is High Chaparral, a son of the great Saddler's Wells, who has already provided Australasian heroes such as So You Think and Shootout. Dundeel's dam, Star Reel, is by Zabeel and also descends from Star Kingdom.
He's a High Chaparral horse. He's a fantastic racehorse, as we all know, and a magnificent individual as well. He's got very similar markings to Saddler's Wells, and he's a very refined, attractive, athletic individual. But certainly, you know, one glance at him and you realise that he's a Northern Dancer line horse.
Bred in New Zealand by Murray Anderson and prepared by astute horseman Murray Baker, Dundeel only started once in his homeland.
His first start at Ellerslie was something that, when you watched it, we didn't see it at the time, but watching the replay with the rail out, he did what horses seldom do there and was able to sort of come from behind and win. And of course, Murray had a very big opinion of the horse from day one, and at that stage realised that the horse immediately needed to come to Australia.
Renamed It's a Dundeel in Australia, the colt continued his winning efforts in the spring of his 3-year-old year, recording victories at Wyong and Canterbury. It was clear he was an untapped talent, and the judges were proven correct when he captured the Glooming Stakes.
King of Olympia, Luna Rise, and It's a Dundeel has come right over the top of them, and It's a Dundeel beat Honorius.
The Spring Champion Stakes a fortnight later would be Dundeel's first attempt at the elite level. This time, the New Zealander was considered an outsider, with the Gay Waterhouse-trained Prasia the hot favourite. In a memorable contest, Prasia and Dundeel put their unbeaten records on the line.
It's a Dundeel on the outside, is starting to wind up. It's Prasia in front. It's a Dundeel on the outside, lunges and wins it. It's a Dundeel beat Prasia.
His win in the Champion Stakes was an exceptional effort. It's only his 5th start. So for a horse to do that in virtually his first preparation was incredible. And he always showed that tenacity and that courage as well, which is another string to his bow, I think. Something you like to see in a stallion, a horse that's got that will to win.
Dundeel's subsequent trip to Melbourne didn't quite reap the expected results, with a second in the Vase at Moonee Valley and an unplaced effort in an unsuitably run Victoria Derby.
He didn't have a lot of luck in those races in Melbourne. Things didn't go according to plan, but in the autumn he came back and he was absolutely stunning. He ran 4th in the Hobart Phil on what was a very wet track, wouldn't have suited him, and then he won in succession the Randwick Guineas and the Rosehill Guineas and the Derby.
It's a Dundeel and Prasia. It's a Dundeel. It's a Dundeel beat Prasia again.
The Rosehill Guineas was an amazing performance. He won that race by nearly 7 lengths, and he beat Sacred Falls, who was to win 2 Doncasters.
But what an electrifying turn of foot he had at the top of the straight, and he'll cruise down and win the Rosehill Guineas. It's a Dundeel by 5 lengths, Sacred Falls.
His last 400 metres of that race was, I think, 22.8 seconds, which on the day was exceptional because Snitzerland in the Galaxy, the very next race, ran home in 23.5. So it was visually impressive, but it was also very impressive when you analyse the times and figures, and that said to us that this was an exceptional racehorse.
Since the Australian Derby was switched to the autumn in 1979, only Octagonal had been able to complete the Sydney 3-year-old Triple Crown, and no galloper had ever been able to clean sweep the 4 classic majors in the harbour city. Dundeel justified the pre-race hype with what only can be described as a procession. He was simply in a league of his own.
and It's a Dundeel race to the front at the 200-metre mark. This is an exercise gallop. He's moving away for one of the most impressive wins you'll ever see in the Derby. It's a Dundeel in a hand canter, wins it by 5 lengths.
One of the more visually stunning derbies that you ever see. You know, James sitting up on him in the last sort of 150 metres, looking around and sort of just going to the post, coasting under his own steam. And interestingly, in that race, he ran the second fastest last 400 metres of the entire meeting, and he ran home in a quicker last furlong than Black Caviar did in the TJ Smith on the same day.
The athletic son of High Chaparral capped off the season with a second in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. Perhaps disappointing on paper, but far from disgraced.
No, he wasn't disgraced, and it was at the end of a long campaign. He'd run in those races. And of course, Reliable Man was an exceptional horse. He was a horse that had won a French Derby, and so you're not talking about any easy beat there at all. He beat everything else. It was an exceptional run. I think he was probably a shade over the top at that stage, but nonetheless, it was he ran into a very good horse on the day.
On the back of Dundeel's autumn achievements, the Kiwi Marvel appeared to have the racing world at his feet, and a stud career also beckoned.
It was about the time that Animal Kingdom was winning the World Cup that he really captured our imagination, and it was around that time that we thought, yeah, it's time to move on this horse.